thing if it's standing up. What it is, it's the Tatonka Lastenkraxe, which means, I do believe, load carrier. So it comes in two parts. There's actually the actual Lastenkraxe, which is just the frame, the aluminium. It's all welded aluminium frame with, and then the other part is the actual pack sack, which is that. So I did have to actually get it from two different suppliers because neither of those suppliers had both, which is a bit weird. But because with the frame you can pretty much put whatever you want on there. But, and I've seen a couple of one guy I saw, he had a Bergen pack, and he strapped the Bergen pack to the Lastenkraxe frame, which, you know, you've got all that added weight with the, unless, I don't know, with the Bergen you can take the hip belt off and harness and everything else off, I don't know, because I don't have a proper Bergen. So I thought, hey, you know, I definitely want both of them. You know, I want it together as it should be. And so the frame I got from, what's it called, Oz Pilot Shop or something? They're like supplies for pilots and stuff, and you know, I don't know what pilots are going to be doing with that, but yeah, because they do sell like literally pilot stuff. And the actual pack sack, or the pack sack 2, I got from Outdoor Survival Australia, which I've dealt with them before, I believe. And so both Australian sites, stuff didn't take long to get to me. Now this stuff is, what is it, Austrian, isn't it? Yeah. So what does it say here? Oh, it's an open factory, so you can go to the factory and check out what they're doing. Transparency inspires trust. Our products are manufactured according to European standards under socially responsible conditions in our, what is it, Sabud certified factory in Vietnam, or SAB, or SA 8000, sorry, SA 8000, that's some sort of standard. SA 8000 certified factory in Vietnam. So all the, I would assume that all of the Tatonka stuff is made in Vietnam. As the only producer of outdoor gear, yeah. Maybe that's supposed to say as a producer of only outdoor gear. We guarantee public access to our manufacturing facility, Mount Tech Company Limited, for anyone who is interested. So Mount Tech Company Limited. If you're in Vietnam, pop in there and have a look. Now, the Lastenkraxe, the frame itself comes with hip belt. It's got the V2 carrying system, harness system, and it's been around for a few years now. So yeah, it's proven itself, and it's quite a sturdy system and comfortable. I have to say the padding is like, there's a lot of padding. Unlike, oh, it has two. Got the, oh no. Unlike the other Tatonka packs, there's no, well, it's got an external frame, so it doesn't need any internal support, like say the Bison, because I actually have got a Bison on order. I've got a Bison 90 plus 10 on order, but pardon me, just drinking water, fizzy water, sparkling water. That actually came like 4 days ago. It was really quick, but actually the wrong one was sent, so I had to send it back. But they were really good. I'll when I do a review, I'll give them a plug, because yeah, they were sort of a little bit upset that I got the wrong one, but they just said go to the post office, you know, send it to us, and we'll reimburse you the delivery charges and the postage, and we'll get this away to you as quickly as possible. And they were really apologetic. So yeah, so I think that was who was it? Kelly. Yeah. Now this the V2, if you know the Tatonka packs and the V2 system, then I don't really have to explain anything to you. It's fully adjustable. You can go from, like, if you can see there, you can go from, there's a fair bit of adjustment. I mean, that's, is that the bottom one? There, yeah, that's the bottom one there. So you can go from short, and I've got it right up the top because I'm over 6 foot, so yeah. But that's one of the issues that I do have with a lot of different pack systems, harness systems, is that there's really not that much adjustment that you can do. You have to actually specifically buy a certain size pack. I think they really got it right with this, because it doesn't matter what, you know, what size person you are. This is fully, unless you know, I don't know, really tiny, or you know, lurch. But for the general public, like I'd say the vast majority of the general public, you won't have a problem fitting this to yourself. So I think they're on a winner with this. Now, the Tatonka brand, and Tatonka means bison in some Native American language. I don't know which one. Probably Plains. I'd say Plains Indian, one of the Plains tribes, and it's. I have to say that, yeah, I mean, you pay for it, no doubt about that, but, yeah, as soon as I looked at it, it was quality. The sack itself, it's not, like, everything's really well, I have to say, everything is really well made. The bag itself, it comes with one drain hole, you can see there, there's a drain hole there, which I'm not a huge fan of drain holes. I mean, if you've got water getting into your pack, drain hole or not, you're going to have to empty the thing out and just, you know, hang it up in the sun and try and dry it out. Yeah, I don't really... Or is that just there? Oh, okay, I see. Oh, that's good. So the actual... Because the actual main compartment, what it is, it's got a main compartment, a big main compartment. At a guess, I would say you could probably get this up to about, because you can cinch it. There's 4 side straps, so you can cinch it up. I reckon you could get. I don't know, I'm not sure what the volume they say it is, but I reckon. Let's have a look. That one there. What's the volume? 80 litres. There you go. So that's pretty big. So you've got an 80-litre main compartment, just one, and then you've got two big buckets on the side, each side, and a really big bucket at the back. And like, and there's you've got loops and D-rings. You've got D-rings and you've got loops, you know, everywhere. The actual bag itself, you've got Velcro bindings, so Velcro straps. You've got one there. Where else? One there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10 all up. You've got 10 Velcro attachments that attach the bag to the frame, to the Lastenkraxe. And yeah, and one thing I really like, is that some packs you don't get, is a handle. It comes integral, so you can just, because if you've got a seriously heavy pack, the way that I put them on is just straight up and just over your shoulders. Obviously I haven't used it yet. I only got the bag just this morning, the pack sack just this morning, so I'll put it on. It doesn't take very long once you figure out exactly what's going on, because there's a, I don't know what you call it, that bit there slips over the top of the frame. Now you do have to go over to a D-ring either side, which in the beginning I was looking at it going, oh, I don't think it should be going over a D-ring, but it does. It slips over. It has to slip over the D-rings to get all the way down. And now, what more can I say? The padding, yeah, like the padding is just, the adjusting system for the waist belt is really good. Like, you cinch it up both sides, not just one side. You do both sides, so you get that buckle in the center, which I like. Yeah, it's pretty much bulletproof, I reckon. You know, like really. Yeah, you can see that all of the material, it's Cordura. All the material is rubberized on the inside, so it's definitely waterproof, or will be waterproof for I don't know how long. And so you've also got, aside from the main compartment and those buckets on the sides and the back, you've also got, let's see, you've also got, have you got one here? No. Sure? No. So that's all. Then you've got molly, you've got D-rings, more molly there, you've got straps where you can just loops. You got loops, you got D-rings, you got loops, and it's a very this system is extremely versatile, because specifically in a hunting situation, I mean, you don't have to have it for a hunting situation, but in a hunting situation and you have to pack out, you know, whatever meat, the animal, whatever part of the animal you want to take, you can just take the bag off and just use the Lastenkraxe, the load carrier itself, the frame on its own. And then, because if you've got something like really weirdly shaped, or it's too big to go in the actual bag, you know, I mean, yeah. And another good thing is if you don't want your pack just covered in blood, you know, that's, yeah, because let me tell you, you can never ever, especially synthetic material or any material, you can never really get all the blood out, and then yeah, it's a bit disgusting, and it does go rotten, and so you can just use the frame so that's number one on the versatility aspect. One other thing that I really like about this pack is that if you're in pretty muddy whatever territory, you've got the frame at the bottom just sits on the pack just stands up, okay? It just stands up on its own. Whereas with pretty much every other pack, yeah, they just tip over. They want to tip over, or you know, they're like, I don't know, they're like a drunken sailor. So what else can I say about it? Yeah, I'd like all up, it's cost me about, I think, what the pack sack cost. The pack sack itself, yeah, the pack sack itself, the bag, cost $130 from Outdoor Survival Australia, and the Lastenkraxe, the actual load carrier, the frame, cost what was it, about $230 from Oz Pilot Shop. So what's that? 230 and 130 is $360. So $360 for the whole shebang. And you know, some people might say, oh, you know, that's Australian, so you're probably looking at about, I don't know, you're probably looking at about a couple of $100 US if you're in the US, because the Tatonka, I think, do have a fair presence in the US. I think they're probably one of their biggest markets is New Zealand. That's where I first actually saw the Tatonka brand. I think I'd seen it here and there, but I never really paid that much attention to it until I started watching. If you want to see some good hunting videos, there's a guy, Rogie, and what's his channel? Rogie Productions, ROGEE. He's a Maori fellow, and he does mostly deer hunting in New Zealand. I think no doubt, he probably does chamois and tar and definitely wild boar, but he's mainly a deer hunter. And so he had, like, the three of them. There was three guys in one video. They all had Tatonkas, and this is how I think. Anything that the Kiwis think is good must be good, because just like Scandinavia, who makes the best packs? You know, no one in the no one on the equator. You know, they're all made. All the best packs are from, you know, Norway and wherever, England and Scandinavian countries, and this one's obviously an Austrian design, but it is made in Vietnam. But I have to say that everything's a very, very high standard. Like, there is no loose threads everywhere. All the stitching is superb. I really, like, literally have nothing bad to say about this pack at all. Other than the fact that thing that slips over the top of the frame has to go over a couple of D-rings, but big deal. Yeah, so that's the Lastenkraxe, and I'm quite impressed. Yeah, I'm very impressed. You know, so that's the Lastenkraxe. So I'll put that down because. By the way, it does weigh, what is it, 3.6 kilos. The bag and the pack and the Lastenkraxe together weigh 3.6 kilos, and some people might say, oh, well, you know, 3.6 kilos, that's a lot of weight. Well, yes, but it isn't. It's a full external frame with, you know, a full bottom frame that stands, you know, with, so, like, you know, if you're really sensitive to weight, then why are you buying your pack that big? You know, why would you want to, you know, admittedly, yeah, you don't have to put 80 litres in there, but, yeah. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about was the SE6. Okay, the SE Knives SE6. I've been handling this thing, you know, and falling in love with it more and more, quite a lot. And one thing I want to point out is that the screw heads, there's no rust on them at all. And I know some people would think, well, yeah, what's the big deal? Well, so no rust on these screws at all that hold the handle scales on. Now, all, and I mean all, of the rats, the fixed blade rats. So I've got the RTAC 2, I've got the Rat 7, and I've got the TAC, what is it, TAC 4 or whatever it is, I think. Yeah, TAC 4, I didn't say just TAC. All of the screws, and like, I've hardly handled them, you know, just from sitting around and doing nothing. All of the screw heads are rusty. And I mean, and there's not much coating on them. That's probably why. Like, they're all rusty. So, all of them, without exception, every screw head is rusty. Now, and it seems like oh man, stuff that screwed up. It's because what you've got is you've got a brass threaded insert and then two screws exactly the same go in either side. So what I have done, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get, stainless in the same thing, because it's a countersunk socket or countersunk hex head screw. But luckily, because I should give them a plug. In Townsville, there's a shop called Bolt Masters. Excellent, really. If you want any type of screw or bolt that you can think of, or just about, they'll get you something or something comparable or close to it. And luckily, I got stainless, because the RTAC 2 has got bigger screws, and the TAC 4, I think it is, whatever, and the RAT 7 have got a smaller screw. Now, one thing is, because, and these are Imperial, I don't know, I'm not sure what the measurements are, but it's Imperial stainless, I thought, oh, I'm going to have a hard time getting it. But no, Bolt Masters has had it. I've got to trim them all, because they are just a little bit too long, but that's not a big deal. So if you've got an OKC knife, fixed blade knife, have a look at your screws, because if they're rusty, I mean, some people might say, who cares? Is it really going to matter? Well, no, but it really bugs me. It bugs me that knives that this one I have, I'm doing a bit of chopping with it just to see how it chops and that, but this one I've hardly handled it. So, and I can't remember if the heads of the screws were rusty when I got them. I don't think so. But like when you have a look at some of them, there's really not much of a coating on them. So that's why they're rusty. You can almost see steel. Really, you can almost see steel. So they haven't coated them very well at all. It's almost like they blued them or something rather than put an actual coating on it. Whereas the SE, it's got, you can't see any steel there at all. Now, they use a completely different setup. It's a Chicago screw type setup, so I doubt if I'm going to be able to find anything stainless in that design. But is that one rusty? No. So there's no rust anywhere on this SE, but yeah, the Ontario stuff. I would change the screws, and for how many screws I've got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 24. I've got like 36 screws or something. It cost me $20. Hey, that's nothing. And one really nice thing about Bolt Masters is that you can go in there and you can drag one screw in there and go, have you got a replacement for this? And they'll take the time to actually find, what you're after and really take care of you. They're really, really great bunch of people. So highly recommend Bolt Masters if you need some weird bolts or for anything. They've got a lot of different stuff. A lot of industrial stuff. So definitely go in there and have a look at them. But so now, one other thing I'd like to mention is that pardon me. In 2 weeks, and I've been on a diet now, and in the beginning I wasn't all that strict. I was still eating a bit of carbs, but I'm basically on a very very low or zero carb diet, very low, verging on what's it called, on carnivore, sort of keto / carnivore, because most of what I consume is either meat or animal products, dairy, meat, fish, eggs, dairy, I do still eat some fruit and vegetables. Like this morning, I had 3 eggs and half an avocado. So just the usual keto stuff. It was all carb free, but tons of fat. I've just been consuming tons of meat, tons of fat, and believe it or not, what was it, September last year, I was 100 kilos. I got Rochelle at my work, who's a very nice young lady. She, I said to her, "Can you do us a favour and send us a screenshot of what my stats were at the last physical?" Because we're constantly doing physicals. And she said, "Yeah, no worries." So she sent it to me, and I was 100 kilos September last year. So, just under a year ago, I was 100 kilos, and it was all in my gut. I think where most of it was around my organs. And so, I just went, and because I've been mucking around the web and especially with, I do follow Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson and Michaela Peterson, Jordan Peterson's daughter and that, and then I saw a video with Sean Baker, Dr. Sean Baker, and I thought, you know what, it's pretty, what they're saying is pretty intuitive, so I'm going to give it a go. So in roughly 2 weeks, I've lost over 10 kilos by eating fat. You heard it, but you got to realise, no sugar, or very, very little. And when I say no sugar, no carbs, all right, no carbs. I do cheat a little because I do have a little bit of honey now and then, because I do have a serious sweet tooth. Like I could smash a cheesecake or a pavlova, no problems, but not anymore. And I'm not craving it, which is a bit weird. Yeah. It is an addiction. I remember people used to say, sugar addiction is real. You get addicted to it, and you do. You really do. But I'm not craving it now, like at all. So 0 carbs, or very ultra low carbs. No pasta, no bread, no rice, no potatoes, no sweet potatoes. Basically no root vegetables, no sugar. So there's a lot of root vegetables that do have a lot of sugar. So beetroot, carrots, they've all got heaps of sugar in them, and I don't eat them at all anymore. Just things like avocado. Well, avocado's a fruit. You can eat olives, that's a fruit too. Cabbage, all the brassicas. You can eat the green beans, because the starches, the beans themselves, the seeds have not developed in the green beans, so the starch isn't there. So they're pretty good, and I love them anyway. So you can eat a fair bit, I'm not full carnivore, because I do like a little bit of variety. I don't know if I can handle just eating, but then So this morning I had 3 eggs. The other morning I had 4 eggs. I had 3 eggs with a big block of butter and half an avocado with it, with a vinaigrette, to cut through the fat and the butter. But so by eating more fat, I'm losing weight. I know, no doubt, the vegans out there are like just losing it right now. But I'm sorry, because you're wrong. So that's about it. And if you notice the hat, that is something that I'll talk about in another video. But until then, see you later.